Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Food Safety Fridays. My name's Simon Timpley from the International Food Safety and Quality Network. It's good to have you all along today. I really look forward to Friday because it's the end of the week and I get to do one of these presentations with a fantastic presenter. Just as a matter of interest, we've got people. This is the 23rd webinar this year already. We're sort of halfway through the year. We've done 23 webinars. Just type in, as a matter of interest, how many you've attended, whether that be 20, 5, 1, the first one today. Just type that into the sidebar. Okay. Today, we've got Vladimir Sachinsky. He's project manager at Quality Austria Centre. And some of you will remember Vladimir. He presented earlier this year and he's got another couple more webinars later in the year. And he's a great presenter. Today, Vladimir is going to be talking about traceability of food in restaurants and fast food. I'm not going to go into too much more detail. I'll let Vladimir do that in his presentation. But traceability is an essential component of a food safety management system should things go wrong to minimize any problems. And although this is focused primarily on food in restaurants and fast food, equally the tips will apply in any food industry. So, okay. So it's nice to see you all here. Denny, 5. Steve, 5. Any advance on 5? Olivier Perrier-Manuel, more than 10. Well done, Olivier. Brilliant. Any advance on 10? Anybody been to more than 10? Steve's been to more than 10. Derek's been to 15 plus. Anybody been to all 23? You might get a prize. I might send you a pen or something, but you've got to tell the truth. Anyway, no matter whether it's your first one or your 23rd one, you're very welcome today, and I hope you come to many more. So over to Vladimir. Hi, Vladimir. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Hi. I'm okay. Ready for presentation.
You're looking absolutely brilliant there. You're putting me to shame with your name at the bottom and your logo at the back. You don't work for the Quality Austria Centre by any chance, do you, Vladimir?
I think it's the it's the Quality Austria Centre,
Superb, and that's a very good organisation. So if anybody wants any work, you can contact Vladimir. Anyway, we'll get talking about next week's webinar while you get your presentation ready, Vladimir. We'll be back shortly. Okay, mate. Okay. Next week we have effective complaint management. And that's going to be delivered by Tony Connor, who is the Chief Technical Advisor at the IFSQN. If any of you frequent the discussion forums at IFSQN, you will know Tony. He's an expert on GFSI standards, and he's going to be talking about effective complaint management. And that's going to be a really good presentation next week. I'm looking forward to that. And I think Tony's actually might be giving away a complaints analyzer, a template where you can shove in your data and it helps you to analyze your complaints. So you will need to register for that. So that's going to be a fabulous presentation by Tony Connor next week, effective complaint management. It is being recorded today. The slides and the webinar recording will be delivered to you by email. A reminder, if you don't get that email, I get a lot of emails from people saying, where are the slides, where's the recording? You should be receiving an email. If you're not, please check your spam folder before contacting me, because I am having to address a lot of emails. So please do that in the first instance. If you don't get it, if you try that, you don't get it, I'm all too happy to help, but please try that. Okay, I can see Vladimir's ready, so we'll head over for Vladimir's presentation and I'll be back for the Q&A later. Okay. Over to you, Vladimir.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Hello to you all, and nice to be here with you today. So thank you all food safety friends for logging into these presentations, and thank you IFSQN for this great opportunity, giving all of us a place to share and to learn. Also, thank you, Simon, for being our host for these great webinars. Today, we are going to speak about traceability of food in restaurants and fast food. And with you is Vladimir, as Simon mentioned. I'm a specialist in sanitary and environmental engineering with more than 500 audits. That's auditing of food safety in more than 400 retail stores in 3 countries for Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro. I'm also project manager in Quality Austria, but also an auditor with more than 200 audits in different standards, and my specialty is in food safety standards. And also I'm a trainer for food safety standards with more than 1,000 people trained, and one of my great things that I like to mention is that I'm also a presenter at IFSQN food safety live webinars, and my last one was emergency preparedness and response. So I'm very proud on this last one. Okay, something to say about Quality Austria or Quality Austria Center. Quality Austria was founded as a limited company for training, certification and evaluation in 2004. It has close relationship with the partner organizations that enables the mutual exchange of topical and global know-how. It has 50 partners and members organizations with own offices and exclusive partners, and Quality Austria is also represented on site in Eastern and Southeastern and South Europe, Asia as well as in South and Central America. Quality Austria Center is regional partner located in Belgrade, Serbia, and it is responsible also for countries Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Croatia, and Bulgaria. Quality Austria covers the 3 business areas of certification, evaluation, validation, provides training and individual certification, as well as information, expert knowledge, and services. It has more than 1,000 auditors, trainers, and assessors, and technical experts, and more than 12,000 clients from all sectors. Okay. As we mentioned, today we are going to talk about traceability of food in restaurants and fast food. For the beginning, we are going to mention the meaning of the concept traceability and to say something about traceability in these days. Also, we will see some data provided by Quality Austria Center from certified organizations. It is data from, about traceability. We will define the traceability of food, show some 3 directions of traceability, and just the 2 simple short methods of traceability, one in restaurant and one in fast food. Okay, when I started collecting data for this presentation, I got interesting food safety magazine e-Digest with article written by William Fisher. And William Fisher is the Vice President of the Institute of Food Technologies and the Executive Director of the Global Food Traceability Center. And if you did not read it, I would like to share his point of view with you. And what did he said? He said that traceability is most relevant when it comes to the public health, and he mentioned something that traceability can be broken into, or emergency planning can be broken into 4 phases, and this is something that I had been spoken about in my last webinar. And this first phase is preparedness. So if you plan an emergency situation, traceability provides greater visibility into supply chain and helps in better prepared if something goes wrong. Of course, the second one is the response. When something really goes wrong, traceability improves the agility of the response by all stakeholders. The third one is the recovery. During the recovery phase, traceability allows the industry and regulators to maintain or rebuild trust with consumers into the safety and resilience of the food safety. And the fourth phase is maybe for me the most important one, especially in food safety, is that traceability allows for the determination of causality of the problem through root cause analysis, thereby preventing future issues. So this is some 4 phases that was very important, and I think that William Fisher really explains them to all. Why traceability is more and more important? Maybe we can see and connect it with the rapid alert system for food and feed. It's the 2014 annual report, and in this report we can see that there were some rise in notifications for 14.6% compared to 2013, but also we can see that there were 751 alerts, which is 25% compared to 2013. Also in this annual report, we can see the notifications by product category, and for some categories we can see that there is more and more notifications compared to 2013. And of course, I think that this is not much changed, but notifications by hazard, the biggest notifications or number is pathogenic microorganisms and pesticides residues. So with all this data, it is clear that we or you as a producer must have strong food safety system, but in the middle of that powerful, you have to have also the traceability system that is continuously upgraded. When we look at the European Commission, Health and Consumer Protection, and if we look at the fact sheet, food traceability is just the tracing food through the production and distribution chain to identify and address risk and protect public health. And food safety has been a growing concern among the EU citizens over the last decades. Also, if you look at the outbreaks of diseases in animals that could be transmitted to humans, or the presence of chemicals above acceptable limits in feed and food, can threaten both the quality and safety of products. For traceability is a risk management tool which allows food business operators or authorities to withdraw or recall products which have been identified as unsafe. So this or the traceability is a cornerstone of the EU's food safety policy. Also, when we look at the EU laws about food safety, what is traceability? Traceability means the ability to track any food or feed, food producing animal or substance that will be used for consumption through all stages of production, processing and distribution. And I think this one definition is enough to say about traceability. Any others would be sufficient. So this is something for me that is saying everything. Why is traceability needed? Well, traceability is a way of responding to potential risks that can arise in food and feed to ensure that all food products in the EU are safe for European citizens to eat. Also, it is vital that when national authorities or food business identify risk, they can trace it back to its source in order to swiftly isolate the problem and prevent contaminated products from reaching consumers. Also, in addition, traceability allows targeted withdrawals and the provision of accurate information to the public, thereby minimizing disruption to trade. So this is the main things that European law or the traceability, what traceability means, and what is the main concept of the traceability. Also, in Food Safety magazine, I read a lot about traceability, and one sentence really got into my mind. It is written by Angela Fernandez. She is the Vice President of Retail, Grocery and Food Service at GS1, which is a standard for traceability in US. While traceability processes are common today, our ability to fully track and trace food remains limited. A recent report from the US Department of Health and Human Services stated that only 5 out of 40 food products purchased for a traceability study could actually have all of their disparate ingredients traced back through the supply chain to their origins. So if we look at this, just this sentence, and that it is stated that only 5 out of 40 food products can be traced, this is not very, I don't know, powerful information, you know, about traceability, knowing that there are standards for so many years here and traceability in each standard defined. But when I look at this sentence that is stated, I try to find all the information in data of Quality Austria Center for Certified Organizations. So I will like to share with you all the data to see how traceability here is managed or how it exists. So if we looked from the data from Quality Austria Center in Belgrade about certified organizations, this is the organization certified according to food safety standards. we can see that 61% of these organizations have defined complete procedure for traceability. So it is complete. They can use this traceability. But 39% of organizations have lacks in traceability procedure. What this means? It means that the traceability is not explained in a good manner, or it is just some general document that is transferred from consultancy, or it exists but it is not implemented in proper manner. So 39% is the organization with lacks in traceability procedure. If we go further, we can see that there are organizations that have defined complete procedure for traceability, and 34% of these organizations have traceability through documentation and data. The traceability exists in all the documents, but not in the production process. What this means? It means that you have documents, you have invoices, you have labels, you have, I don't know, marking of the product, but there is no real traceability in production process, and you cannot track maybe rework, or you cannot track semi-finished products, or you cannot track products that are stored or something else, but there is possible data to go on. For 24%, traceability is not complete because records are missing or incomplete. This means that maybe tracking of the product in process can be managed, but there are no records about that, or in that records there are missing data. For example, one of the employees is not entering needed data on a reception of materials, and then we don't have the traceability just because of that one thing. And for 42%, the traceability is complete. I think that this is good. 42% is something that is now looks good on this data. If we look about identifying and archiving the system of traceability, we have four types of that, and the biggest in this area, if we look at the certified organizations, we can say that 64% are identifying traceability through legible letters or figures written on paper documents. To explain further, this method uses letters and uses figures on paper as a form of transmitting information, and this is directly written on paper and read by people to transfer information. So for this type, there is two ways of paper documents: those that are used together with the product, for example, it's labels and packaging materials, and those attached to the products, for example, it's certificates, invoices, bills, etc. And data transcription from one recording media to another requires to be done by hand. Also, this can be done by or managed by computer data input, but also done by hand, and then this data output to paper document is done by a printer. So this is in most cases this is the use in 64% of certified organizations. In 24% it is the barcodes and barcode printed on paper media. And this is a barcode that is printed on a food label or packaging label, and it is to transfer machine readable information by using a group of parallel lines that is printed in different widths and spacing. And then barcodes are put on the product, and they can be read by an automatic reading device. And this is device called the barcode reader. It is so simple, like in a store, just you when you buy some product, just here you have the barcodes that is put it on the products, printed and put it on the products, and then read by a barcode reader. 10% of the organizations certified have the two-dimensional codes printed on paper media. This is the code that is printed on food label or packaging to transfer machine readable. It is similar as the barcode, but by having vertical and horizontal ways of recording information, a two-dimensional code has more data information capability in a smaller area than a barcode. So in 10% this is used, but I think that this will not go further in this area. Maybe next point will go further because it's the lowest percentage. It is the electronic information compiled in electronic tagging, and it is only 1% of the organizations are using this. And this is a communication method using electronic data compiled in a microelectronic circuit. So built into a tag, something like card or label, and information can be exchanged via an electronic wave in a specific frequency by using an automatic recognition device. Reading and writing can be made with no human contact. And this system is otherwise known as radio frequency identification. I think this is the total future in this area, but I know in a world that this is used more and more frequently. Okay, just to focus on the data about traceability for certified restaurants, catering, and fast foods. We don't have a lot of restaurants and fast foods certified. So I used the data from the certified restaurants, from the certified caterings, and from the certified restaurants that exist in hotels, and also for fast foods that are certified. And I used smaller, let's say, for example, bakeries that can also be work as a fast food. So I used all that data just to show is traceability complete or it is not complete. And for the restaurant part, we can see that 27% of restaurants have complete traceability, while 40% of the restaurants don't have complete traceability. For fast food, it is similar, but 13% of fast food have complete traceability, while 20% don't have complete traceability. If we look all together, about 40% of those who have complete traceability. So I think this is something that is also, when you look in the data from who has the complete procedures for traceability and compare it with this, I think is the similar, but it is really bad information and really low rate of percentage when we look about traceability. So Simon and I prepared one full question for you, so you can help us to just compare the data from this certified restaurants and fast foods. And the next question is, what do you think about restaurants or fast food that you visit regularly? Do they have developed system of traceability of the products that you consume? So let's speak about all the restaurants and fast food that you're going during the week or during the weekend, and just think about it. Do they have the traceability? How can you look if they have traceability? And the possible answers is yes, no, and I don't know. And if yes, and I don't know, please explain us in some short message how you will notice that they have a traceability. It is really important information for us, and together we can compare it with the data that I have. So Simon,
okay,
is the next.
Yeah, I've loaded the poll in the sidebar. Do you think food safety establishments you visit regularly have traceability systems? Yes, no, or don't know. They're the three possible answers. But as Vladimir says, if you answer yes, how do you know that they've got traceability? What are the indicators that will tell you that they've got traceability systems? And if you don't know, how can you find out? So if you can type some of those, answer the poll and type some of those comments in the chat, that will help. And then we'll just leave it running for a couple of minutes. I mean, a lot of the restaurants that I frequent, Vladimir, I mean, to be honest with you, I like Chinese food and I like Indian food, Indian food. I like curries and things like that. But you don't even see the kitchen in most of them. You know, you're in the restaurant, but the kitchen's behind closed doors. So I personally would answer, I don't know. And the reason is because I can't see anything. There's like they've not got labels on the courier or anything. They just have a menu and they bring you food out. So what happens behind those closed doors, I have no idea whatsoever.
So if you don't know about traceability, what do you think? What else is happening behind that door?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so some of the comments that are coming in. Denny has said he's been part of their mock recall procedure. That's very innovative.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Alexis said McDee's is the best. Okay. Texas Chicken, KFC. McDonald's has got it, KFC.
So you see that it is visible in some places, yeah?
Yeah. So some places where you can see into the back of the, where they're actually preparing the food and serving the food. Olivia said, I don't know, there is no evidence to really see that there is traceability systems in place. I would think there is, but our employees making sure they are using it. Carlos has said 99.9% no, it's impossible to verify except by auditing.
Yeah.
The actual result of the poll is, the question was, do you think food safety establishments that you visit frequently have traceability systems? Yes, 22%, no, 56%, and don't know, 22%. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, it's 27%.
22.
22.
Yeah.
No.
56.
56%. Okay, so if we compare the data, we can say that okay, there is some similarities with this, especially when we talk about restaurants and fast food. But okay, let's see what we can do about it. Okay. So we're continuing, and when we talk about traceability in restaurants and fast food, the main thing is that traceability is not complete because these listed things, this is just the part of the things, and for the first, there is no clear procedure that should explain how the traceability should be tracked. There are no records of material reception, entrance. Also, records of material preparation process has lost in data. Bulk goods is not marked in a trackable way. Records are insufficient or tracking wrong data even that happens. There is no clear identification of materials, semi-finished products or finished products. Rework is not clearly identified and tracked. Training of employees is not sufficient. General knowledge of this process is not on high level, and I think this is the really main thing in some organizations. And there is no testing of the same at the end. The testing is the most important thing, just to see how your traceability is performing in everyday activities. But let's see, for the traceability, where it is defined. Traceability is in all standards that is speaking about food safety. If we look at ISO 22000, we can see that there is clearly describing how traceability system should be established, how should be maintained, identified, and everything. For the IFS food, we can see that there is even knockout question if the traceability system is not good, and it is said a traceability system shall be in place which enables the identification of products lost and their relation to batches of raw materials, packaging in direct contact with food, packaging intended or expected to be in direct contact with food. The traceability system shall incorporate all relevant receiving, processing, and distribution records. Traceability shall be ensured and documented until delivery to the customer. So this is a knockout question, and you can see for all of these points in IFS food that this is very important if you are a producer of the food. Also, in global gap, it's the traceability for the primary production is also major must. So here you can see that traceability is really described to all of the producers that is implementing these standards, just to know how to use the traceability and what should they establish. If we talk in further about traceability, there is three directions of traceability in food production chain. In many cases, we're talking about two directions of traceability, but I would like to show you that there is three directions of traceability. The first is one step forward traceability, and this is ability to identify the buyer of the units that you are selling or that you have produced and you are selling. The second one is the one step back traceability, and it is ability to identify the supplier of the units that you have received. And this is the two main steps that we are describing. But I think that there is one more really important step, and it is internal traceability. It is the steps in production, and this is the traceability between the received unit or raw material unit and the sold unit or product unit at the food operator level. So I think that this is the three directions of traceability in food production chain. But I would like you also to show you the three directions of traceability from the point of view of the producer. So we will be, for example, processing. And when we talk about external traceability, it involves practically the process by which the traceable unit is physically transferred from one partner of traceability to the next. So external traceability is when you trace unit from primary production to processing. Also, external traceability is when you trace unit from processing to food service, etc. But because of the data that comes with a product or unit, we can say that this is just the traceability to me. After that, product or unit or material is entering internal process of traceability with different identification data. For example, we have an internal lot number. A next step in finished product with unique identification traceable data, for example, lot or date of production, for example, and documents that follow. So this is sent to the buyer or the next one in chain, and this is external traceability from me as a producer. So I just wanted to show that all the external traceability in defining is the same thing. It's a traceable unit that is physical transfer from one partner traceability to the next. But because all of the data that is sent from one to each other and the differences in product or raw material, I think that we should separate this and that there is external traceability to me and external traceability from me. And external traceability to me as a part is not the same process for my buyer, but it might be important for him. If something goes wrong and my internal traceability proves that problem is not in my production, then I think that the external traceability to me would be important for my buyer also. And if I can really confirm to him that external traceability to me is operating perfectly, and my internal traceability is operating perfectly, I don't have any problems. So I think we should try to imagine that there is really these three directions of traceability, not just as we thought in earlier that there is only external and internal traceability. Okay, in defining it is. Okay, because we are going to focus on restaurant and fast food, I would like to show you the part of the internal traceability and to focus on this one. So I made two examples. It's a simple method of traceability in restaurant, and this is just the example. Just imagine hotel. This is Hotel Majestic Rose. It has a restaurant that is serving breakfast, but also has a la carte menu. And restaurant kitchen is certified according to HCCP, which has also the part that is demanding the traceability. Traceability for breakfast is easy because everything that is served is prepared and packed externally, and it has a lot of batch numbers and shelf life dates on packaging. So it is just served in the morning for the breakfast. For a la carte menu, traceability is developed in a different way. Internal traceability will be shown from customer order to the reception of the raw materials. So I imagined in this example that customer ordered the Caesar salad, okay? And we will show just that internal system. This is a consumer that orders the Caesar salad, and we have a waiter that makes the electronic order for the kitchen. And I would like to use here just, and this is preparation ticket that is made by the waiter. From this preparation ticket, there is informations like order number, there is time order, the date, amount of the meal that is ordered, who is the waiter, location, table, and some special instructions if, for example, a consumer or customer orders the Caesar salad without dressing, for example, and this is the information that would be put in a special instruction. And this order is printed for waiter and for kitchen, exist in printed or electronic form. I would like to show you the both forms just to see the difference. First, this is the order that is printed for waiter, and this huge is the practically order for kitchen is that exists in electronic form. In this big one, you can see also the information from preparation ticket that is shown in the upper part of the order for kitchen. You can see the time, the order table, special instructions, etc. You can see the quantity and meal that is ordered as a Caesar salad, the type of the meal, number in menu, which is important, and we can see all the raw materials and quantity that is or that must be prepared for this Caesar salad. After that, you can see the place for entering the lot number. Okay, why I said to you that this order can be printed. It exists in electronic form, but it also can be printed, and all the lot numbers can be entered by hand of the guy that is preparing the meal. That lot numbers are entered as identification number on each product, and he just had to rewrite it from products. But I think this is time consuming, so maybe the best option if lot is entered automatically, and this is the simple lot numbers that I made. So if you look at the green salad, you can see the quantity and you can see the lot number. This is the lot number, explaining that number 1 is the first product or raw material that was received on this date, and this is the date. It is very simple lot number. If we look at the croutons, we can see that number 7, it is the 7th product or raw material that was received on this date, and this is the date. I think this is the simple lot numbers. This lot numbers is entered automatically from the software system on kitchen order, and it could be entered by hand, copied from product, but there could be some possible mistakes, you know. And lot numbers are defined in reception of products or raw materials, which I will explain later on the next slide. After it is entered in kitchen order, the quantity is reduced in the software system. So quantity must be the same as in storage. So if you use here green salad, some quantity, and you had in the beginning 1 kilo of green salad, you should see that in system you have less 120 grams, and also you have to see in real in storage that there is less of 120 grams of kilo that was received. For lot numbers, they must be identified and visible on each product or raw material. So if I'm a guy who is preparing the product, I will have to compare all the lot numbers that is entered in this order for kitchen with the lot numbers on the products that I'm using for preparing. So I think this is the simple electronic form of tracking. And for the lot numbers that they are defined in reception of products or raw materials, we can see here I wanted to show you for the croutons that it was the 7th product raw material that was received on date. And this next is the date practically that reception of croutons was. So we can go into the system and into the kitchen system to look the reception date we are talking about and all the receptions that was made on this date. And here we can see that number 7 on this reception is croutons with quantity of 1 kilogram. We have the invoice number, we have the supplier name, supplier type, this is direct supplier. We have a delivery vehicle, this is a plate number that could be entered, and also we can have here the remarks depending if something is wrong on the reception. So lot numbers are defined in reception of products, raw materials. After defining system, it is clearly marked into identification card of the product. That identification card is consisted of the lot number. So if you have croutons, you will fill in the identification card with the lot number and shelf life of the date. And this is something that is sticked on the croutons packaging and stored to be tracked later. Also, person responsible for reception is operating with the software system and also fills in the identification card. So if you in the entrance or reception of all of these products define the all needed lots, it is really very easy later to track all of this into finished product. So this is practically just one simple electronic system that exists in restaurant. Also, on next slides, I would like to show you the simple method of traceability in fast food. And I tried to make some imagine situation like for the hotel, and this is the fast food that is called Greek tavern, and it is preparing one type of food, and that is Greek gyros. The tavern is small fast food. It is just buy and go type in neighborhood with no certified food safety standard, but follows all rules defined in regulations and also follows the rule for traceability. It operates 24 hours. So traceability is simple with writing all data on reception and identification labeling of each raw material. For all materials are used in one work day. So every next morning there is a new reception. So planning of the amounts is performed perfectly with the supplier and all raw materials are prepared. So this really simplifies the process of traceability. And I think that you can imagine a lot of different fast foods operating, but this is just a simple method to show you how it is operated. So this is practically the work order that exists, and it is filled by hand. The really important here is the work order number. The work order number and date, of course. Work order number is just the next number in date that is this work order is made. So this is the 26th June 2015. The work order number is 55 through 2015, but a day after that, in 27 June, the work order number will be 56. So this is the work order number just for each day it is changed, for each operating day of the fast food. We have general reception data and control on reception, and personal responsible for reception and control is our imaginable Maria. So we have the number, this is the raw material or product name that was received, supplier that supplied us with the raw material or products, and the plates of the delivery vehicle. Also, we have here the quantities, and the most important information for us is the shelf life. Shelf life is just transcribed from the labels of the products, and the shelf life is entered in the identification data for each product just to be more visible. But I explained to you that we use all the materials that is received in one day. So this tracking would be for maybe some products that would stay longer. I will explain it later. And also here are the remarks on the reception if there is the remarks. And this is all that is received in one day. All is okay, and it is marked, and it is written by hand. The next step would be to mark it on a packaging of the gyros, and this is the cone packaging with the information of work order number. This is entered by hand, and with that you have the traceability from your customer. If you have, I don't know, any problems with the product, customer can come and say, okay, I have a stomach issue, and bring you this packaging with the work order number. This is just the simple example with the work order number, and through this work order number you can see all the data needed for you to go through your traceability and to the suppliers if there is no problem in your production. But also what I think about is that there is some spreads or additions also that can be marked separately. Why? Because they are received in the same way. They are also existing in the work order number, but not all amounts is used in one work day, for example. And entering of each work order number would be time consuming. So simple marking of spreads and additions that consumer asks, it can be linked to the dates. So if we have packaging with nothing marked on, and consumer comes and say, okay, give me 1 gyros with mustard and tzatziki, the employee will could mark mustard and tzatziki and just mark the work order number, and this is something that could be later tracked for each material that went to that gyros. And okay, this is practically the end of the simple points for the traceability. I would like to thank you, and just to go to the Simon, and we can go to the questions and answers part. Thank you very much for listening.
That's great, Vladimir. Thank you very much. Lots of people typing in. Just a thing from me. I didn't tell you about this, Vladimir, but when I was at college and university, I used to work in a restaurant in the kitchen. I used to wear one of those big chef hats, you know, very professional chef hats. But my job basically, it was a commie chef, and I used to just put things in the microwave and make salads and prepare things. But there was no traceability at all, really. There was nothing written down. In fact, it would have probably been impossible to do traceability because it was that busy. You know, you'd have to do 200, let's say, people in 3 or 4 hours. And literally, there would have been no time. And I wondered, is that why a lot of places fail to do traceability, especially in smaller organizations, you know, like McDonald's and KFC? Yeah. Some of the people on the polls were writing in, oh yeah, they do traceability. Well, they're the global organizations. You know, what about the small and the one-man bands and the small places? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I saw someone that wrote a question. It is very interesting, and remarking you, I think it's John. He said, for fast food, is it commercially practical to have traceability system? You know, considering the fact that foods are consumed almost immediately after ordering. I think it is, because for smaller joints, it could be traced really on a simple matter. You know, it's just you write one document and just make some labels, and that's it. You have the traceability. Okay, the food is consumed at the same time, but what if you have some complaints about the products, how you will know, maybe it happened in 4 hours, but what if it happens in 8 hours, or the customer comes tomorrow or day after that, visiting the hospital. You will have to have some kind of the system to track all of your raw materials in your production. For the big productions, or the companies operating all over the world, it's easy because it's the really big systems. Everything is organized, and also, for example, for McDonald's, you have a lots of employees that could track the traceability, or perform the simple activities. But in smaller joints, you have 1 or 2 employees that has to fill in all the forms. But I think that maybe the easiest option is to have, for the fast food, where 1 or 2 people are operating, just reception document with all the data and labels just on product, and that's it. I think, and that work order exists for each day.
So can I ask a question just to clarify practically? So say
Yes.
I'm a chef and I'm working in this restaurant and I'm making a Caesar salad.
Okay.
Yeah. So do I record the traceability for that one Caesar salad, or do I make I say have a box with all the lettuce in, a box with all the croutons in, a box, and so I know all the Caesar salads I'm making on this shift are coming from this batches?
Yeah. But for example, I show you in the example. Okay, if that's why I said it would be practical to have electronically tracked. Why electronically? Because you will have the lot, and you have to compare that lot in electronically signed to the lot that is or the batch number that is entering on, that is on salad, for example. But okay, we have maybe 2 different lots, and there is the time when system shows you use this lot because it first expired, and then after you use that one, the system will show you the second lot that is coming, so also we can track the FIFO principle. And I said on the identification marks, you have also shelf life of the product, so you as a chef can track which kind of you are using.
Yeah.
I think
And I guess measuring and weighing accurately are important as well, I suppose, for usage and wastage and things like that.
yes, of course. When I looked all the data of the traceability on the internet, especially when we talk about restaurants and fast food, when we talk about fast food and restaurants, the waste food is something that is really has to be think about it, and traceability can really help in this manner.
Yeah, to reduce wastage.
Yeah, to reduce wastage. Even there is a lots of documents saying about traceability in connection with waste food. So this is.
Yeah. Okay. Carlos has made a good point. He's saying, realistically speaking, for restaurants, I believe that the first stage would be to have a good supplier traceability, and second stage production.
Yeah, I totally agree. So if you have a good supplier that can mark you or identify every product that is coming to you, then you will have really simple traceability. So if you have really responsible supplier with good marked or identified each lot, batch, product that is sent to you, then it is really easy to track your traceability in your production.
Okay. Avi is asking, how can traceability be maintained for vegetable suppliers as no records are in place for vegetable?
As no records are in place.
Yeah. How can traceability for vegetables has no records been placed? Surely there's a date of delivery that if nothing else. If nothing
So
else.
if we say that there is a supplier for the vegetable supplier, I think that marking or identifying of the products is really hard, or they are not responsible. So maybe only the date of reception, and we can mark the name of the supplier, and we can mark the license plates from the vehicle. That could be our entering.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Another one, Harvey, is asking how shelf life is computed for the restaurant.
Yeah.
Shelf life. How does shelf life compute shelf life for the restaurant? Does that depend?
I don't understand the question.
No. Well, shelf life should be on the product that you buy, should it? That should be.
Yeah. Maybe if it is asking about the shelf life of the semi-finished products, you know.
Yeah.
If we talk about semi-finished products, you have to mark the shelf life, and mainly it is the hours depending. And you can look at some documents existing in the law and everything, and that's when you can track it. I think that you can mark the shelf life on every semi-finished product just in hours or in one day, and you can track to the regulative that exists in your country.
Yeah. What about the restaurants I go to, Vladimir, where they just keep taking the food back and putting it back in the big pot?
I see one good question also from Miriam about traceability. When you buy at the supermarket, then you can trace with the invoice.
Yeah.
And so this is you can trace the invoice or the bill for all the groceries that you bought in a supermarket. This could be the solution for that.
Okay. And would you expect to, Huda's saying, would you expect to also include the machinery in processing machinery in restaurant traceability?
Well, of course, we can use with all the documents that we are using in everyday process. If it's the records about cleaning, if it's the record about I don't know, temperature and everything, it is all the records that is used also to prove your traceability for product, you know, for his safety in each process that is stored or prepared and everything.
Yeah, just one more, Vladimir. Pamela is asking, she's a food safety manager in a central kitchen for 7 restaurants. They are implementing HACCP.
Barcodes. Use
How
the barcodes.
can I work? They receive a huge quantity of products.
Yeah. Maybe the simple manner is to use the barcodes. Maybe it's a bit expensive to have a barcodes labeling, but it's really easy, because you just print the barcode and you just stick it on every quantity of products that you're receiving, and just track it through the everyday activities in preparing. So the barcode could be one easy system if you don't want to write any documents. If you want to write documents, it's time consuming.
Yeah. Okie doke. All right then. I think we've exhausted them there. If there are any more questions come in, we can always put them on the forum later, and you can answer them. Yeah. Hey, we've actually finished on time today. It's bang on the hour. So thanks very much, Vladimir.
Thank you.
I noticed Jelina's been giving you a few messages there. She's really trying to put you off. Maybe when she when Jelina does one next year, maybe you can reciprocate that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, of course, of course.
Thanks very much, Vladimir. We'll look forward to your next one, and have a great weekend.
Okay, also for all of you. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, that was it was an excellent presentation there. It is very complex. It can be very complex, but hopefully that gave you some pointers there for how you can achieve traceability, even if you're not McDonald's or KFC. Surely through some simple systems of getting good supplies in that are marked, understanding, working with batches, smaller batch sizes, marking them, and using some simple systems. If you've got the resources, obviously you go for barcoding and things like that, but long gone are the days where you have no traceability, where when I worked in a kitchen and I probably made lots of people poorly. Anyway, the certificates in the sidebar there for you to download. As I say, next week we've got effective complaint management with Tony Connor. That'll be a really great presentation. Apart from that, it's been a great day. Thanks for your attendance today. I'll send the email with the certificate, the slides, and the webinar recording in a couple of days. If you don't get it, check your spam folder first before you email me. So thanks for coming today. Have a lovely weekend and enjoy the rest of Food Safety Friday. Thank you.